Hello again, WEB290. In this brief video, I just wanted to give you a little bit of information on what had to happen when you can see them. I can't line this up right back here. There it is. What had to happen when I was setting up your WordPress accounts. Not technically WordPress accounts. Now, here, let me start at the beginning. Now, this is all mentioned again here in the Eagle course, but I think it's probably a good idea to go over it again here. Is WordPress is a platform that by itself does not live anywhere. You need a host to install WordPress into. Now, with the WordPress.com tutorials that you are doing here, it is true that you are creating a hosted site that is going to be housed at WordPress.com. But at the end of the day, that's really not what any of us need or want to do when it comes to our personal sites, our business sites, etc. If I had rvccis.info.wordpress.com, or if we had rockvalleycollege.edu.wordpress.com, that's not particularly professional, right? And that's not what you want to do. The biggest benefit to WordPress is it is available on every hosting platform that you might have. So we are using Bluehost and HostGator to host all of our sites. So each one of you has a bbuilder.u.rvccis.org site. Each one of you has an elementor.u.rvccis.org. Each one of you has a final.u.rvccis.org. So what we have to do is as follows. Now again, this is all here in the what I had to do before blah blah blah. It's in the section 1 module. But what essentially has to happen is as follows. I have to pay for, which I do, I have to pay for a host. So my host is Bluehost, not because it's the best platform, but because it's among the cheapest. You can tell what's more important to me, right? Is it good? No. Does it cost a lot? No. That's perfect. Let's go. I use Bluehost not because it's easy, but because it's cheap. And actually, when this course rolls around, that cheapness comes at a penalty, essentially. So what I have to do as the owner of rvccis.org, what I have to do is create a new subdomain for each one of you. So each one of you has a first initial dot last name .rvccis.org domain. So you can actually navigate to that on your own machines and see that yes, there is a parked domain there from Bluehost without a WordPress plugin right now. What I have to do after that is create even further subdomains. So for each one of your domains, I actually create 3 additional subdomains: bbuilder, Elementor, and final. So those are bbuilder.u.rvccis.org, elementor.u.rvccis.org. So we've already created 2 layers at least of subdomains for you. We're not done yet. Now, after that, what I have to do, and this just went to screensaver, so I won't be pointing back at that for it. What I have to do after that is go in through each one of those domains and actually enable by installing the WordPress plugin for you there. Now, installing the WordPress plugin, like you can see in those videos, is literally selecting your subdomain, going over to a menu that says Install WordPress and clicking Go. What happens after that is on the server side, all the magic stuff happens. I am not part of that process. Now, Bluehost, the cheap domain DNS service that I use. Bluehost takes a while. For each one of those sites, it takes me just under 40 minutes to complete each one of you for your 3 domains, because I have to create your subdomain, create a subdomain, create a subdomain, create a subdomain, and then include WordPress, WordPress, WordPress. And then what I have to do is go through and actually add each of you back as administrators on your accounts. The action of me creating an administrator account for you is actually the trigger that generates that email that you get from WordPress.com saying, you know, come sign into WordPress, change your default password, and now you can start administering on that account. There are a couple of benefits outside of just having your own domain, right? So it is nicer to have rvccis.org than rvccis.org.wordpress.com. Some of the benefits there include the world, or the universe rather, of plugins that are available to you. So some of you I know are going to think about creating a final project that relates back to a business, right? Because most of the web is a business. So you are going to want, you know, shopping carts. You are going to want social integration. You are going to want things like MailChimp integration or Salesforce.com. You are going to want, I have only here, before all of this pandemic stuff, completed a consultation with a company who needed to add essentially employee management and tracking to their website. So instead of building that from the ground up, we simply went to Salesforce, we got a WordPress plugin, we put it into our site, and boom, right? I didn't have to do a ton of extra additional coding work, just making sure that the databases were there so people could go to their site, they would sign in with their credentials, and essentially they were punching in, punching out, punching in, punching out, and tracking sales. And 10 or 15 years ago, the idea that that could be done in an afternoon with a couple of plugins was bonkers. There was no way that was going to happen. But now we rely on a host, we rely on WordPress, we rely on a couple of really simple, you know, themes and plugins, and we can create these massively scalable, very involved websites with just a small amount of effort, so that all of our future effort can be tailored at actually getting content out there. So that's what you missed when I set up your WordPress sites. Now, I do believe that the examples I had on Eagle are frankly wrong. I could not get the host to add multiple WordPress installations on the same domain, so I could not do yourname.rvccis.org/final/bbuilder/elementor. I actually had to create subdomains going the other way. So if that's the case, it doesn't really matter, because the only way you can get into them is via the email that probably has already arrived at your student.rockvalleycollege.edu address. So go check student@rockvalleycollege.edu. Look for, there should be 3 emails from WordPress or WordPress admin. There should be one for bbuilder, there should be one for Elementor, and there should be one for Final. So whether or not you've got them, let me know you have them. Let me know you don't have them. You are going to need those to progress onwards.